Water pistols were fully loaded and at the ready in Barcelona over the weekend as frustration at over-tourism boiled over. Holidaymakers were forced to take shelter inside to avoid being soaked. Thousands of demonstrators marched in protest at the sheer number of tourists coming to visit. Barcelona is Spain's most visited city. Some 12 million people come every year. The protesters say that has led to a lack of housing and soaring rent prices for residents.
I'm here to try and stop tourism from destroying people's lives. The people in these neighborhoods have to leave because the prices for everything have risen so much due to tourism.
We come here to demonstrate against mass touristification here in Barcelona. The last years, the city has turned completely for tourists, and what we want is a city for citizens and not in service of tourists.
We need sustainable tourism that allows people to live off tourism, but doesn't prevent residents from living their normal life.
And for more now, I'm joined by Carme Arcarazo. She's the spokesperson of the Barcelona Tenants Union. She's also an urban and housing researcher at La Hidra Institute. Carme, it's good to have you with us. I understand you were born and raised in Barcelona, so you're the right person to pose this question to. I mean, help us understand what it means to have 12 million people, tourists, come to your city every year. How does that affect your life?
Yeah, so throughout my life, we've seen like Barcelona change a lot, no? Basically, there's spaces of the city that we no longer inhabit. Housing prices have been skyrocketing. They have more than doubled in the past 10 years. And in general, you see that a lot of people around us are having jobs related to tourism, which are extremely precarious. They are the worst paid jobs in the city. So basically, like, we are losing a sense of what living in Barcelona is, because a lot of us are getting expelled from the city, and the ones that remain live in poorer conditions.
Do you feel like Barcelona is still your city, or do you feel like it isn't anymore?
No, I feel a lot of us still believe and feel like it is our city, and that's exactly why thousands of people went onto the streets to actually claim that we need a change in the economic model of the city, no? Mm-hmm. I think it's important to understand that all of these protests that have been taking place are not against tourists as individuals, but what they're questioning is whether it is sustainable to have a city based on an economy that is like a monoculture, like solely based on tourism. Mm-hmm. It has a lot of externalities. So we think we need to switch to a much more diverse model that like runs away from tourism, because it has too many bad impacts for us.
Well, let me ask you.
And we are sort of like reclaiming it. So it's a way of saying, no, the city is ours, and we actually want to fight so that our children can also live in Barcelona.
But what about your children, the next generation? If you wanted to buy an apartment right now in Barcelona, what are the chances of that apartment, that real estate being affordable?
Yeah, prices are like skyrocketing. Actually, at Israel, we published a research which said that 7 out of 10 tenants would never inherit a house or a part of a house, and the entry-level prices of the real estate market are completely impossible. What we see is that houses are mainly bought by either very, very high-income people, so like rich people, or predominantly investors.
Okay.
So basically, what we see is that tourism and real estate are very much connected, and they are making the city unaffordable. So, for us already, it's not even about the future generations. We've seen rent prices double in the past 10 years. So yeah, we are spending half the wage in housing, actually.
And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to what you're saying. I mean, all over the world, especially over tourism, we know what it means for real estate prices. And I know that you want that to change. But You know, one story that's been getting a lot of attention is you've had people from Barcelona using water pistols and shooting at holidaymakers, tourists in the city to make a point. Is that the right way to make positive change?
Well, I think that these protests are really a great sign, no? Like that after so many years of people like bottling up and bottling up, the fact that there's people not only going in the streets in Barcelona, but everywhere around Spain is a great sign that because it makes politicians like not be able to like look away, but like have to confront the problem. I think the protests have been extremely peaceful. I don't think like a water pistol is gonna like make anyone afraid. Um, but I do think it's an interesting question because I think the problem is not always well understood. Like it's not like the tourists as individuals bother us, which some might, but it's the question is the economic model of the city. So like tourism is a bad model to focus on for three main reasons. No, you mentioned the housing crisis,
Right.
clear example. It shifts supply away from like stable housing and it pressures the market. So prices go up. So one, two, the jobs that tourism creates are very bad. The jobs related to tourism, like the workers earn half of the city's average wage. So literally the worst jobs. And third, we are in a climate and ecological emergency and tourism is highly unsustainable. So
Okay.
I feel like people are not protesting about like the individual tourists, but on like actually questioning our own government. Like, should we still be willing to attract tourism right now?
What about your mayor, the mayor of Barcelona? He wants, or she, I just read the mayor of Barcelona wants to ban short-term holiday rentals in the city by the year 2028. That means I'm assuming like no more Airbnb rentals in Barcelona for tourists. Will that work? And is it enough? Is it going to affect change quickly enough, do you think?
Well, yeah, that it's a good like thermometer. The fact that the mayor has already like taken steps because basically like the mayor has been pressured a lot by social movements over the past years. And actually, it's a Catalan law that he decided to like implement. So it's not even like his own policy. But no, that's not enough. It's a good first step because tourism, like touristic apartments, we're taking thousands of apartments away from residents.
Yeah.
But we have to go further. No, this same mayor that is actually now banning touristic apartments is the same one that wants to make the airport bigger.
Right.
So we cannot grow in like airport and have more flights coming in because there's just no more room.
Yeah.
And also, for example, cruises. No, we have a lot of cruise ships that are coming in Barcelona, are extremely polluting, and they are floating in the city. So we should limit that. And I think something that a lot of cities will have is that Airbnb is a problem and very short-term rentals are a problem, but we also have a huge problem with seasonal rentals, no? Like
Yes.
a short-term but a little bit longer, which are mainly hosting short-term expats and especially digital nomads. So like people that move in to Barcelona for like 3 or 4 months, they have a much higher purchasing power than the local population. And the housing market regulation basically allows them to skip rent control. So
I
if you
see.
rent it out to an expat or a digital nomad, they can rent it out for much higher prices than the ones that we
Well,
have
Carme,
to pay. So basically, we are incentivizing weird markets that are displacing people.
Well, I hope that your city, I hope that you can find a solution that will make the economy sustainable for everyone. I mean, I've been to Barcelona many times. I think it's one of the best cities in Europe, best cities on the planet. And yeah, let's hope that a solution can be found to the benefit of everyone. Carme Arcarazo, spokesperson of the Barcelona Tenants Union. We appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.